Keep working and careful. Abali kuche stay cool. Hey, pass and tell you. Hey. Uganda, Kampala, I my city, I my place, my city. Uganda, Kampala, I my city. I might bless my city.
I say, oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Well, I be tap, baby, with power. If you look like I really mean it, baby, come on, my love. Oh no, yeah, I'm Tasa. Nalimutamivu kuzaro. But then you came around to me like saying a better angle that you won't go walk around. You ask around, yeah, you are the reason. I said, David, she tell me by your katumba. Savani Awati, Missy Wati, Kanawagalusi, Alami Kanawamezoli, Savani Awati, Missy Wati. Oh, the flower go away, Yaka, in your body was just fire, fire, and girl, I couldn't face this. No, I couldn't face this. When the flower go away, Yaka, me say, love you till Paka, and girl, I couldn't face this. No, I couldn't face this too, baby. You losing Gukumuketio, the day, oh, Sayo. Ninjanyo, they got just you, but them Sinaviro. It's been a long time since we met, but I still love you like before. And when you're not around, I still talk you on the low. But the way you sit on that border, is a holding a stranger. You don't know, but it kills me inside. The way you sit on that border, and you're holding a stranger. You don't know. I said, David. Tell me why you got to.
This particular jam, of course, became a sensation, most especially the times when COVID-19 has just chipped in. But of course, very many people jumped on this particular one. But I don't know whether you people actually shifted gears and now you are on to what is moving. But of course, it is a beautiful one coming from Quake's. Title of the song is Kachumbali. I want to send it to each and every single person that is listening to us via the app. I see quite a number of people that are tuned in, following through what is happening at the East Face 2021. But of course, we're coming to you live from the MCI Media Hub here at MCI Radio for African Voices. My name is Joseph Olsodai, and I'm super excited to be giving you live updates and, of course, bringing each and every single person to be able to talk about different things as they are going to be able to happen. That even when you're not here physically, you definitely have a feel of the East Face 2021. I'm super excited that joining me in the studio is the one Danze Edwin. Of course, he is a digital marketer. Of course, he is a journalist. He's a top blogger. He's a radio, he's a TV host, and he is just one person who has actually a number of talents. And I would say he's a jack of all trades and a master of all. Good to have you, Edwin.
Pleasure being here for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm very, very intrigued and actually very impressed by what I've seen.
Okay.
One of my friends was taking me around a bus. I've seen so many of my other friends. I've seen Flo. I've seen so many people. I feel like home. So I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, this is home because one of the major objectives that we actually believe in, actually creating the MCI Hub, is to be sure that journalism has a home whereby everyone can walk in freely and they feel like they are relating with people of a like mind, and they do not want to panic that I'm into a strange place. Yeah. But yeah, welcome home, Tenzai.
Thank you, man.
We are into day 3 of the East Face 2021. And of course, I know particularly right about now, you're going to be one of the facilitators and speakers today. How are you super, prepared for this particular one?
I think, okay, not to brag, but I'm usually always ready. because the more times you do this, the better for you. And especially the fact that I'm very eager to learn all the time. I've just been in a session of AR, augmented reality, and listening to the guys across the board. Again, before I even continue, this is very good collaboration. The fact that you're able to have Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and the rest of the world all plugged in.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. I'll be talking about audience development in particular. Things I've done in marketing for a bit, but I'll try and focus more on the online bit of it, since that's where I have specialized anyway. And I believe when people understand the what and why they speak to people, like the people at the end of this conversation right now, they are the most important people. That's why you're playing the music that you're playing, and that's why you're talking or having the conversations that you're actually having.
Denzel will live in a generation and era whereby each and every single person wants an audience.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a following.
Yes.
What are some of the key things that one should actually look at before they venture out to actually look for these numbers?
You see, you can't get numbers or you can't venture in numbers unless you know what the numbers want. There is this radio. You will find all the other radios out there. There's a reason that's why you guys have specifically gone online in a big way with this radio, because your audience is already there. So such insights like that are the first thing that you think about. You're not going to find your audience for this particular product in, let's say, downtown Kampala. Get it? Because you've talked about the app already. How many people are going to be able to use that app there and be able to afford that data to stream this content with you? So your audiences are important, and that's where the numbers come from. You will find that someone will have, say, 100 followers on their social media platforms, but their engagement is insane. Millions and millions of people retweeting and liking.
Danze, I would have done injustice to our audience without asking you this particular question. We are living into an era of what we call, there is a particular word we actually use it. We call it like a global market.
Yeah.
And I think now this particular phase where we have the East African community, I think we need to be able to understand how can we actually spread our wings, also tap into the Kenyan audience, the Tanzanian audience. Now that we have here, maybe not looking at simple things that we have here, the Philips here, the few people that we have around. How can we be able to actually attract an audience that is not internally here in Uganda?
I think the first thing to do is stop creating for you.
What do you mean when we? Because I understand when I open up a Facebook page, that is for me.
It's your page, but you're not going to dictate what your followers want from you.
Are you sure?
This is true. Unless there are people that have reached the echelon of brand, Cristiano Ronaldo, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Right now, people, I know the macro influencers, they are very big, but if you don't pass 1 million followers and like the Spice Dianas and etc., it's hard for you to dictate what people want to see. Bad Black dictates what people will see from her. She's created that brand and all around herself. Region-wise, Kenya, Tanzania, etc., people are going to consume that because she's understood the assignment of that's what people want. It's very hard for me, Danze, to tap into the Tanzania, Rwanda, South African region and all those communities without understanding what they are into that side. If I don't talk about Diamond Platinum right now, if I'm a blogger, I am of no use to the Tanzanian audience. If I am in Uganda and I'm not going to reference, let's say, Chigali's state-of-the-art basketball courts and all those things, my content won't be consumed. Remember, people have way too many options. There's this radio station, there's another radio station, there's another presenter. They only make an appointment with you if you have something to offer them. So that's all I can tell you. Yeah.
Maybe lastly, because I need to let you go, don't you think that we come at a time whereby, yes, you started your own page, you started your own platforms, but then you feel like people are dictating for you, and that puts a lot of pressure on you on what to give people. And besides that, there are a lot of people's expectations from you that are going to actually eat you up, and before you know it, you will actually lose it.
This is true. See, now that's the what do they call it in marketing? That's why you're going to have to niche. You get it? To niche and be consistent in the content you're pushing out will allow the people to veer towards you a bit. But if you're a generic person, you opened up your page and you said you're going to do gossip news. But the gossip news you're doing, I can find it on Red Pepper, The Sun, The Mirror, etc. You're of no value to me. But you can do gossip news specifically around pastors only. They'll come to you for that particular product. because you've set up your page for that. The other people that probably are going to have it easier maybe are people like gamers, musicians, etc. Because you've opened up to create that particular content. They will come to you for that. I'll use an example of Crystal Panda, for example. One of my friends again. He opened up as a TV show host, but he's doing music now because he understood what the audience wants. So in order for them to watch his show, he has already hooked them with the other product that they are hooked to.
Interestingly, I think for someone who is just listening in, you now know, if I told you open up, your role is to open up, but now people will definitely start to dictate what you feed them to, basically. But Denzel, the last question that I will ask you, we've seen a lot of athletes coming into the game, whereby people, when someone misuses the platform, they're definitely going to be held accountable. How possibly can we use our platforms without, venturing and poking into people's business?
That's a tricky one, to be honest. But the truth is, in as much as we are doing scandalous conversations, gossip, and all those things, there's ethics to journalism at the end of that day. I work with Case. They've recently been taken to Kitala in prison for defamation and all those things. But get outside our region. Those things happen all the time. Get it? There's TMZ. There is The Sun that fabricate news. But the thing is, it's what people genuinely want to see. You just have to avoid the limits of exceeding things like fake news, for example, which won't be tolerated by the platform. So they'll block you, label you as a fake news spreader and all those things. But truth is, if you rather have a lot more dancers yourself and etc. doing these jobs because they understand the ethics and the repercussions of sensationalizing news and all those things in those positions. That's why I do radio as well, because I understand what it will take if you damage someone's reputation. Because it could also happen to me at the end of the day.
Exactly. We have to let Denzel go and actually be part of the sessions that will be coming in. All you need to do to actually get to understand more of what Denzel really does, just follow him on his social media platforms. That is on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. He is everywhere. You will definitely get to know how these different things work. And maybe if at all you want to get knowledge about how social media works and how to, grow numbers, he is the right person for you. But the East Festival is still happening right here, and we are into day 3, and we are just maybe excited about what is going to be coming out from all the speakers today. But all you need to do is to stay hooked here on MCI Radio, giving you live updates of what is coming in from Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda here. I will leave you with this beautiful jam coming from Bruno Mars. The title of the song is Just the Way You Are. Of course, we also love you just the way you are.
And not shining, her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Yeah, I know, when I compliment her, she won't believe me. And it's so sad to think that she don't see what I see. But every time she asks me, do I look okay, I say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. Her lips, I could kiss them all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates, but I think it's so sexy. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Oh, you know, I never ask you to change. If perfect's what you're searching for, then just stay the same. So don't even bother asking if you look okay. You know I'll say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world
listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
Africa.
The Inter-University Media Challenge 2021 is here. This is an annual event which brings together students of journalism and media to compete and showcase talent in news gathering, production and presentation, at the same time learning from the expert trainers and journalists from the media industry. Be the next celebrated journalist in the country, like many that have gone through our practical and experiential trainings.
Kayonga Paul, NBS.
Mordecai Mulisa, MBS.
Olivia Komgisha, NTV. Sandra Twinobdio, NTV.
For more information, check out our website on www.mciug.org or call 0702 195 095 or visit our offices located at Tiropati Level 4.
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
Her eyes make the stars look like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Yeah, I know, when I compliment her, she won't believe me. And it's so sad to think that she don't see what I see. But every time she asks me, do I look okay? I say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
just the way you are. Her lips, I could kiss them all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates, but I think it's so sexy. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Oh, you know, I never ask you to change. If perfect's what you're searching for, then just stay the same. So don't even bother asking if you look okay. You know I'll say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. 'Cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. The way you are. The way you are. Girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. When I see your face,
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are.
You're listening to MCI Radio, the coolest internet radio. MCI Radio for African Voices.
The hits just keep on coming.
Steph London Bunny remix. When you
Years of fresh hits, fresh talent, and connecting all universities. Download the MCI Radio app on Google Play Store, the home of the African Voice, a free internet radio on radio.mciug.org.
Yeah, first you like me so much when I'm working.
Just enjoy this
life. I cannot sit around and wait and watch you pass me by. So hop in my two-seater, mamacita, let me show you a good time. Put the top down and blast the speakers, and maybe we can enjoy life. Maybe we can enjoy life tonight, and everything will be alright. Baby, I'll show you paradise, and maybe you could be mine, oh mine, oh mine. Nobody else deserves my time. You could be mine, oh mine, oh mine. And together we'll enjoy this life forever. This ain't a life, where is the fun? I guess I'm on my phone too much, huh? We still got time, so let's make use of it. Don't wanna lose this, so hop in my two-seater, mamacita, let me show you a good time. Put the top down and blast the speakers, and maybe we can enjoy life. Maybe we can enjoy life tonight, and everything will be alright. Baby, I'll show you paradise, and maybe you could be mine, oh mine, oh mine. Nobody else deserves my time. You could be mine, oh mine, oh mine. And together.
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trendz with Canaan Arinda.
With me, you don't gotta worry about a thing, my darling. Hold on to me. You don't gotta worry about a thing, my darling. Hop in my two-seater, mamacita, let me show you a good time. Put the top down and blast the speakers, and maybe we can enjoy life. Maybe we can enjoy life tonight, and everything will be alright. Baby, I'll show you paradise, and maybe you could be mine, oh mine, oh mine. Nobody else deserves my time. You could be mine, oh mine, oh mine. And together we'll enjoy this life forever.
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trendz with Canaan Arinda.
Girl, I want to see you tonight. I will catch you flight and come see you tonight. Hey, ooh, girl, I want to see you tonight. I will catch you flight and come see you tonight. Cause this distance is killing me for sure. So give me more, give me on top. I want this, your love, oh. Say for instance, I do anything for love, anything at all. You feeling this or not? Make I know what's up, oh. I go take flight, and I will fly to you. I should waste time, I feel they run to you, oh. I go take flight, and I will fly to you. I should waste time, I feel they run to you, oh. Something love. Oh, girl, you got me wanting more. I can't get enough of your something love. Oh, girl, you got me wanting more. That's your body, my you get boo. Kill it, best. You get boo. I don't wanna lose you. You get style, me I don't shibang, but I don't know no. So no time. And if you say you know, I go and die. You don't belong, I don't know no. I'm on a radar. I will take flight, and I will fly to you. I should waste time. I feel to come to you. I will take flight, and I will fly to you. I should waste time. I feel to come to you. Oh, girl, you got me wanting more. I can't get enough of your salty love. Oh, girl, you got me wanting more.
You're You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
The hits just keep on coming.
Steph London Bunny remix. When you
Years of fresh hits, fresh talent, and connecting all universities. Download the MCI Radio app on Google Play Store, the home of the African Voice, a free internet radio on radio.mciug.org.
Your face will like me so much when I'm working.
And they'll show you what's up, man. Okay, also with me in the studio today is my man Amon. Amon, talk to us, man. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
Let us know, who are we listening to? Who is Amon?
All right, my name is Amon Ahim Siwe.
Yeah.
And my name is Fellow 2020.
Yeah.
I'm a multimedia journalist.
You're a multimedia
journalist. Yeah.
What is man? Those are big titles, right?
I
know, right? Like, what is multimedia journalist?
Okay, a multimedia journalist is one who can afford to use any tools that you give him to make sure that he can tell his or her story.
Yeah.
And it's this same person that can do what we call a one-man army journalist. Somebody will send somewhere and he comes up with a story, no matter what, but he has to bring the story.
But Eamon, so you're saying you're a one-man army journalist. Nay, you're not wearing green like Lennon. You're not wearing camouflage.
Well,
so what is one-man army journalist?
Of course, just like I said, this is somebody who understands media and in a perspective that in any tools, be it mobile journalism, be it the broadcasting. When I talk broadcasting, I mean television and then radio.
Yeah.
And when we talk about radio, I'm a trainee at a certain university where I train students in regards to radio stations and managing it, production and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say I learned most of these skills from the Media Challenge Initiative.
MCI.
So, just a fellow. Shout out to everyone.
So you're
there.
back here at home, huh?
Of course, when I'm here, I'm always at home. So it's just.
So who is supposed to be welcoming who? Are we the ones welcoming you, or are you the one welcoming us?
You know, there is. I won't say I was. You know, sometimes I read the Bible and there's somewhere where you found that there's a son that had lost, the prodigal son. So I won't say I'd got lost, but always when you come home, the dad has to, keep appreciating you. You understand? So here we're all family in media, we're all family, and we're trying to make sure that we tell stories that impact our society and. Doing our role as the fourth estate.
As the fourth estate.
All right.
This guy has a lot of titles and everything.
Terms and everything. Yeah.
Yesterday, that reminds me. Yesterday, I was kind of teasing people, and I told them, "Is your name Googleable? Can you go on Google, type in your name, and something comes? That without them telling them, did you mean someone else?" And I typed in my name. So I put it there, and I hadn't even Googled my name. Later on, I'm like, let me also try my own challenge. I went and Googled, and you guys, the results were heartbreaking, man.
I guess it was like 2 pages.
In trenches. I swear. And they were like exemplary trash. Right next to my name, man. Okay, but also with me in the studio is another journalist, Dan Ayebale. Dan Ayebale, talk to us. Who are you? Tell us.
Yes, thank you for hosting me, Canaan. You want me to tell you who I am?
Tell us who you are, man.
You know me, right?
I have on my side, I have a one-man army journalist. He's a multimedia journalist. He's
fact checker.
He's a fact checker. He's a Twitter legend. So Dan, who are you? Besides being a human being?
Besides being a human being, I'm also... do they call it a jack of trades or a trade of jacks?
Yeah.
Never
we
heard
also
of
don't
that.
know. We're asking you, asking us.
I'm a journalist as well. I'm into digital strategy. I'm into fact checking. I'm into everything media. And besides that, I always want to mention that I'm a boy child activist.
Boy child.
Activist.
Activist?
Yes.
Huh? What?
Pro boy child.
Boy child, activist.
Pro boy child.
You're a boy child.
Pro boy
activist.
child.
So you're a maninist. The way there's feminist.
Not really. If you say I'm a maninist or anything like that, I think that would be extreme. Me being a boy child activist doesn't mean
so
that.
So talk to us about being a boy child activist. So what does that mean?
Basically, it's something that is really close to my heart. It's something that I identify with on a personal level because I've grown up in a society where, not that I'm anti those ones who really say, we really need to pull up the girl child. I really support that.
Yeah.
The girl child should be empowered, but then that doesn't mean that the boy child should be left behind. For me, I think...
I'm saying Lennon agreeing.
Yes, I think as we empower the girl child, we should remember that will be at the expense of the boy child if you leave him behind as well. So I think we should really as well look out for the boys, then the communities, and then support them.
Yes, Lennon, you're nodding your head in agreement. Is this something you also really feel?
When he mentioned it and everything he explained, I feel like it's really, really something crucial to the society.
Yeah. So you've been recruited.
Yeah, if you recruit me, I'll be pleasured. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have amazing people here today, and I think Theus and Lennon, we're gonna have so much fun with these guys. They are very informed. They are critical parts of society, journalists, and so they'll be taking us through some of the things that they're experiencing and really how it impacts on
what
society.
I forgot was a pen and a book to write what I say, because these guys
You have a phone. Your phone has a notebook.
Yeah, probably. I should do that. I should use that.
Senior journalist. Wait, so quickly, we're going to go for a break, but very quickly, Dan. One of the things that Eamon was telling us is that he's a one-man army journalist.
But that doesn't mean that I can stop learning, because learning doesn't end. So any opportunity that might pump
it's my turn.
Yeah.
Let me explain it.
I had to inform some little,
Yeah.
It's okay.
Maybe
I could also compliment him when
Yeah.
he said he's someone like boy child ambassador stuff.
Yeah.
Because there are things that normally come in and we're like, we are fighting for girls. When you reach out, we do sexual harassment. Every time they are blaming guys, I mean girls. So and we also boys. Who are they? When do we get these people who are coming to fight for us? We also somewhere being harassed in different abuses.
If you guys are saying that, I think I'm going to get a lady on the show sometime and I'll invite you guys to come. I think it would be nice to have you guys who are now, like, you think you're a boy child activist. So I'm going to get you and a feminist and we have a conversation. We see, are you on the same side of the table? Are you working together, or are you working against one another? But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about the East Festival that is going on right now at the Media Challenge Hub, and we'll be back right after this break to get into that. We'll be dissecting it, and you guys will be helping us understand what is exactly #EastFest21. You're still listening to Talk the Trends here on MCI Radio. It's Theus, it's Lennon, it's Canaan, and do not touch that dial. We'll be back in a few.
The hits just keep on coming.
All day. Steph London Bunny remix. When you
Yes, fresh hits, fresh talent, and connecting all universities. Download the MCI Radio app on Google Play Store, the home of the African Voice, a free internet radio on radio.mciug.org.
Yeah, first you like me so much when I'm working.
cooking all day. I ain't your mama. I ain't gonna do your laundry. I ain't your mama. I ain't your mama. Boy, I ain't your mama. When you gonna get your act together? I ain't your mama. No, I ain't your mama. No, I ain't your mama. No, wake up, arise and shine. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get to work on time. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. No more playing video games. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Things are about to change. Round here, round here. We used to be crazy in love. Can we go back to how it was? When did you get too comfortable? 'Cause I'm too good for that. I'm too good for that. Just remember that. Hey, I'm gonna be cooking all day. Your mama. I ain't gonna do your laundry. I ain't your mama. I ain't your mama. Boy, I ain't your mama. When you gonna get your act together? I ain't your mama. No, I ain't your mama. No, I ain't your mama. No. Lucky to have these curves. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Stop getting on my nerves. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Trying to ride this train. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Some things have got.
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
Crazy in love. Can we go back to how it was? When did you get too comfortable? 'Cause I'm too good for that. I'm too good for that. Just remember that. Hey, I'm gonna be cooking all day. I ain't your mama. Together, I ain't your mama. No, mama now.
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
Can we go back to how it was? When did you get too comfortable? 'Cause I'm too good for that, I'm too good for that. Just remember that. Hey, I ain't gonna be cooking all day. I ain't your mama. I ain't gonna do your laundry. I ain't your mama. Hey, I ain't your mama. No, I ain't your mama. No. When you gonna get your act together? I ain't your mama.
When the DJ,
I'm not a DJ.
When the song is nice, the DJ plays it twice. that was Theus and Twala speeding. DJing real DJ Lennon is teaching me pola. So any mistakes that I make, blame them on Lennon. Any good work that I do, it's mine. So
naturally you're DJ bro.
I'm telling you, how do I mute your mic? Let me find them. Anyway, we're going on still with the show. It's Talk the Trends with me, Canaan Arinda, real DJ Lennon and Theus. And today we have some big journalists in the building that are going to be explaining to us what the East Festival is, because they've been trending for all these days. Hashtag EastFest is taking over Twitter, and we need to know exactly what is happening, what is going on, why is it trending, and how important is it to our lives. Theus. Tell us, what, off the top of your head, these guys have not yet told us, what do you know about East Festival?
I think.
You think? Yeah, it's okay. Off the top of your head, man.
Yeah. East Festival is an event that is going on here on MCI Media Hub, and basically they are talking about media. They are talking about journalism and the future of journalists.
Yeah.
So that is what it is all about. East
Okay.
Festival, yeah.
Well, let's find out if you are correct or wrong. I'll start with you, Amon. Tell us, what is the East Festival?
All right. East Festival 2021. In a simple way, it is we are trying to see the authenticity, storytelling, through the innovations that are already in existence. But reflecting, of course, for the past media, how has been, the present media, how is it, and the future, where we are going. How is it going to be? If you are going to be in a digital or virtual online stuff, how do we prepare ourselves for this? But then, being that it is at the East Festival 2021, somebody will be asking why East and not West. The issue is it is East Africa. So we are looking in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. So we are trying to share different opinions or ideas. Where do we correct? Where do we learn from our past? And then how do we, make innovations or prepare for the future? So it's a combination of the entire media, how it's being perceived by different people out there, because in this case, we've tried to have different opinions on how the media industry is being perceived in any country. That's why we are trying to share ideas, as in how is it perceived in Kenya? What are the challenges that are there? What do you think we can change in that curriculum over the students who are doing this journalism? So the same thing we also trying to share within Uganda. How is it? How is the future? How was our past? And then how do we correct it if we had gone wrong somewhere? Our bloggers taking over. What is all these things are being digested in this festival that is taking place from it's for 4 days, started on Wednesday and will be ending on Saturday.
And you guys have been trending all over the social media platforms endlessly ever since you started, man. You can't go down.
Of course, like I said, because we're in COVID times, we can't say we can invite all journalists, all student journalists, all of them to be here, because we have also to try to adopt with the new innovations, that is technology. So we have tried to make sure that we trend on Twitter because we are using the mobile technologies to make sure that we already start our work as we feature into the generation of innovations using technology to bring out stories to our societies. So as we speak, we act. So we talk the talk.
You talk.
We have to make sure that what we talk, we have to act.
We have to act it out. Okay. So, well, let me get to you, Dan. Dan, is it a conference? Is it a workshop? Is it a TV show? Someone actually asked me today morning. Is it a TV show? How would you describe the East Festival? Besides the word festival, obviously.
Thank you. It's a festival.
Yeah? Done.
So I really can't run away from it. Only that maybe you want to say, what is a festival? Google will help us. But then anyway,
Google will help us.
What about this festival and whatever is happening on at the MCI Media Hub is that it is a kind of a space that has been created for 4 days, where different media players are discussing the trends of journalism, the past and the future of journalism, and then what things can we learn, and most importantly, what things can we unlearn. For me, that's important because we've talked about very many things. Yesterday, we were talking about what can be added to the curriculum. We've been talking about what can still work with this world, which is evolving, especially with the growth of digital platforms and all that. So I think this is a space for everyone in East Africa, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, to express their thoughts about what journalism can be, where the trends have changed, and then how we can adapt to it. So basically, to me, it's a knowledge and then a knowledge sharing space, and also a space where you can actually talk and also make your thought about journalism in East Africa get counted.
Okay. Yesterday, Theus and I, we were looking into the question of, is journalism a profession or is it not? Theus, maybe you can refresh our minds. The conversation, what were we talking about in relation to journalism, whether it's a profession or not?
Like we said yesterday, journalism is actually a profession.
Okay.
For the people,
are you sure that's what we concluded?
For the people that have gone into a journalism school and have studied journalism, they are journalists by profession. We call them journalists by profession because they have gone through school.
Okay.
But then there are practitioners in the media. Journalists by practitioners, let me say it like that. Like
journalists
that
by practice.
By practice. Like someone has woken up in the morning and maybe he studied some other things in school, but then he found out that his passion is doing journalism.
Yeah.
So he comes in the media houses, let's say like MCI, and is now practicing his passion.
Okay.
That one also, it makes him a journalist because it is his talent, it is his passion.
It's what it does.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got done
about that. Maybe later, you're the host. You will help us maybe understand, or let the members here discuss about what the difference between journalism and journalism and a journalist and a media practitioner.
The difference between them. Okay, so that maybe we can get into that very quickly. What do you think is the difference? Is there a difference first and foremost?
I brought it here so that maybe we could hear views from our.
I brought you here because you're the expert. This is like me going to the doctor and saying, "Doctor, I feel pain, I feel headache," and the guy's like, "What do you think it is?"
It's also
I'm here to find out.
It's also something to me. It is something like we've been saying, like something we can learn from such a space from this fest. And these are the trends that are coming in because a guy will come out of nowhere. He's a comedian. Take an example of Amoti. This is a Amoti guy. And he has a following, and then he gets onto radio, and then all of a sudden he starts a show, and then he becomes a force to reckon with. So, but there's this guy like me who went to school and I was like, I will go to the newsroom in the morning, editorial meeting at 8. I pitch my story. The editor says, go ahead or don't go ahead. And then after, I go to the field, bring the story, file it, give it to the editor. You know that procedure in general. So to me, I think it's a matter of an opinion, which is an opinion from me, like kind of an opinion I have in my head is that the trend that is coming in where when someone has a following, then they automatically become, they go to a radio or TV station and then that's it.
They start practicing.
I think among the things we were learning, talking about like in this festival, we need to regulate that. Not everyone should come. People go to school for 4 years to study journalism, and then you come out of nowhere. You want
and you want to say that journalists are not professionals.
Pardon?
Like you say that journalists are not professionals. Like what I said.
Okay.
Journalism is a profession.
So I'm going to come to you right now, and the example that I want us to look at is Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo is a very famous comedian. He studied engineering, but he has been invited to the East Fest, which is talking about media and journalism, not even as an attendant, but as a speaker. So, engineer, comedian is talking lecturing journalists, okay? And that leads me to, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just bringing it up because that's going to lead us into the conversation we're going to have. I don't know if I'm a journalist or not, and we will get into that conversation also. But Aman, how do you feel about the fact that right now we had Joseph Beanga yesterday here in the studio? Amazing time. He was teaching us, and how he's just a fun fella. But he was also talking about the fact that if you look into the media space right now, most of the people we call top journalists or top media practitioners are people who did not study mass communication as their undergraduate or at least their first degree. And they're the ones who are kind of taking over the space, really. He mentioned a couple of names. And so, I want to ask you, first and foremost, how do you feel about the fact that people that did not really study journalism and whatever are taking over the space? And you, for instance, a journalist, has to come and sit and listen to an engineer teach you and lecture you about journalism and media. How do you feel about that?
It's my look.
Show the people that are watching your look.
My people, do you see this look? Trust me, I'm not happy. Why? When you talk about journalism, you need to first ask, who is a journalist?
Let's ask you, who is a journalist?
Anybody who can collect news.
Anybody who can collect news.
Yeah?
That is a journalist to you.
And compile.
Well, in our country, I think the way how it is being to people's mindset is that if I can use any tool of communication, be it a phone, be it a word, I collect a story. You know, there are two things they're trying to differentiate. They are calling bloggers also journalists. But I have a lot when you ask about who is a journalist or what is journalism. Yesterday I was discussing to a colleague who is a journalist called Sechiwonga Hasif. He works with STV. I'm STV, yeah. He was telling me because it was like now media houses, they are the people who can determine a journalist. How? He gave me an example. During COVID, they were giving out stickers. But then, when even yesterday, they were in a meeting. But the stickers were specifically given by the media house. So the media house has a right to choose who to give a sticker and who not to leave. So that's as an example, because many of them were given, and they were not journalists, but they were, if you're a boss and you have friends you want to go outing with, you just give them stickers. You see media houses with it. So that's aside. But then look at this, that they were discussing at Media Center, and I think UCC, they were like, now, for anyone to be a journalist, the bosses, as long to give you that license that you're a certified journalist, the bosses will come and say, this is our journalist. So they can certify you as long, whether you're a comedian or a what. If your boss says, this is my journalist I'm using to source my news, they'll give you what it needs.
Are they wrong to do that?
Of course, because...
Of course?
Totally. The regulations, how the way these people who are responsible to be, making sure this industry is streamlined and not inactive.
Okay, so let me pose this question now. Are TV and radio presenters journalists? Are we journalists? Am I a journalist?
Okay, to our common understanding, a journalist.
No, I don't want common understanding. I want the facts, the truth.
The experts.
Oh. Yes, the experts, not opinion. I give an opinion, Lennon gives an opinion, Theos gives an opinion, but now we've brought you here as the experts, as the in quotes,
right.
journalists
All
to
right.
tell us, are we presenters? I mean, are we journalists? Because we are TV and radio presenters.
Okay. TV.
And if I'm going to apply for a verification, for example, on social media, the three of us, we're going to apply as media practitioners.
Yeah, if you want to apply currently, like I was saying, if your media bosses say this is my journalist, you will be certified. You will be given all what it takes to be a journalist, whether it is an ID, whether it is a word, to confirm that you're a journalist.
Okay.
So you presenters, some of you are not qualified by profession to be journalists, but you find your talent pushing you to do, even by your passion, pushing you to do that presenting.
Yeah.
So somebody out there somebody who is still studying will look at you and study as a journalist, because they know anyone who comes on media, on these media houses and try to communicate, are as journalists. But in real aspect, are they? So the question goes back to you.
No, the question goes back to you. You're the expert.
Okay, to answer you that question, I'll give you one option.
Yes.
If you really went to school, studied journalism in the school of journalism, you've got the qualification.
Yes.
You're a graduate. You've got the skills, and you are in the media house doing your role as a presenter. You are a journalist.
Okay,
so
you can quote me.
Okay, that's on record.
It's on record.
Because when we apply, we're going to use your statement and say that we are on TV, we are on radio, we are journalists, and an expert journalist said that.
That is it.
Dan, you want to disagree?
Uncle Google.
Uncle Google. Okay.
Uncle Google says a journalist is a person who writes for newspapers, magazines, or news websites, or prepares news to be broadcast. So
that's Google. So radio presenters are not journalists, according to Google. Because you have only said who writes.
Okay.
Broadcasting was.
That means that Samson Kasumba is not a journalist. Because he doesn't write.
They said there's the broadcasting part of it, Canaan. And then they say, and also who prepares news to be broadcast. So it prepares news to be broadcast. So that's a journalist. But for me,
so we are journalists.
There is
Lennon, man, you're a journalist. That is nice.
There is a broadcast and then press.
This guy is doing everything to make sure we are not qualified.
From what Google is saying, it is more strict. I think Google needs to update this information. Why? Because it is more talking of press, and then a little bit is bringing in broadcasting. But then when it comes to broadcasting, there's not broadcasting that is in press. Broadcasting is a different aspect, and press is a different aspect. That's why when you talk about broadcasting, you have the radio and then the television. And sometimes people do blogging using their, technology, and that is also, you may call it broadcasting. But then that's the difference. So coming back to who is a journalist, I've already explained to you, if you have all those things that I've told you, then consider yourself a journalist. But not somebody who has talent, somebody who has passion, somebody who has not gone to school to acquire that profession, because journalism is a profession. That's why in our country it is a fourth estate.
So I'm going to ask, maybe this, and Lennon will help me back me up here, because man, I'm under attack from this journalist. Okay, so let's look at an example of typical professions. A person cannot fly an airplane unless they've gone and studied to learn how to fly it. Otherwise, they'll crash. Okay? A person cannot operate on you as a doctor unless they've gone to medical school and they've learned it. Right?
No.
What is so hard about...
Doctor, let's disagree.
No, I've said surgery. Can you conduct a surgery, Dan? Dan, can you conduct surgery?
Me, I can. If you ask if I can, I can.
Can you conduct? If I can't,
but we've seen people who haven't really gone to medical school carrying out, surgery and stuff like that. Minor.
But I'm pretty sure.
Minor,
I'm pretty sure that person at least went under some kind of training.
Training, yes.
Exactly, even a journalist.
So let me ask you, what is so hard about journalism that someone has to study it? Because there are people who have not even done any training, and they are currently running successful TV and radio shows. And by the way, they are doing better than these so-called studied journalists.
Okay, let's face it, Canaan.
Yes.
I mentioned earlier that we need maybe to regulate the journalism field.
Yes.
But the truth is, we must agree, or we must maybe admit that we might not be able to. with the elevation of these digital spaces, and I'm also a citizen journalism kind of guy. I have an innovation that is actually into bringing the citizen journalists online. So you might put me on spot that I'm trying to spoil it when I'm saying register. But the truth is, the trends will control us. The trends will control us.
We on top the trends will control
the trends will control us. Yeah, and we need to move by the trends. If we want to say that we want to fight everyone who is coming on board, we can't really manage to do that. So what do we do as journalists? Maybe I'm on who went to school. You need to have that extra touch of it that makes you that sets you apart from that guy who came around and said, I just want to do journalism. So
okay, sorry to cut you short, but let's look at that. For instance, what did you study in school for the 3 or 4 years that you went that is so unique, like so hard? What did you study in school? As in media, I'm not attacking anyone. I promise I'm not. I'm just trying to really be objective here, and maybe because Theos is in acting school, and I'll also have a session and roast him about it.
Okay.
But for now, let's focus on journalism. What are you learning that is so hard?
You asked him that who can't act.
Yeah?
Did you ask him that?
I've not asked him, but I've told him he'll have his day.
Same thing you're asking us.
I will have his day and also look at film school. But for now, let's look at acting school. At journalism. What did you learn that is so unique and hard that considers you a professional?
Okay. Before I say what I learned, allow me to say this. It is the reason as why we are in this festive 2021. So it's some of the question you've asked. It's one of those that we are trying to discuss. When you look at talent, when you look at the passion and the books, because we've seen that our school, our institutions really need to adopt, to change. You get the curriculum. Why? Because guys who are doing in more practice, you may come and say, let me practice how to present, but you've not gone to school and you will perfect it. Yes. But then we in the institutions, we are not looking at that because we are like normal institutions used to say, you go make research, do books, you study, and then be a professional in that field. But then our profession is still lacking a few practicals, which we are calling for institutions to adopt and make sure that let's bring out graduates or those who are professional when they are multi-skilled, because we expect you once you speak something, you are able to do it. You can't communicate something to deal with reporting, because I know you have started bit reporting and the rest of. So when you can speak them, but you can't act them. So we are trying to make sure that.
I feel like Amon has responded to the guy. I don't think Amon has responded.
I really want to add to Amon's point before you go to Theos, because I want to defend Amon. Let's say I go with you to a press conference.
Yes.
I went to school of journalism. You never went to school. You know what you will do?
What did I do?
You put your recorder there, and the guy will speak. You take to your radio. They will say, the DP spokesperson said this and this. And to me, that's weak. But if I went to school, if you say this, off record, I will go and ask you said this. But then there's this context. There's that context. And to me, my content is better than yours, who just recorded the guy's words. So we don't see those thin differences most times. You guys, many people don't see them, but the truth is, a person who went to school for journalism has eye for the news. That's what makes them exceptional. But the guy who never went to school will come and say, I'm going for the news. I will hear what Norbert Mao said. I will hear what Senyonyi said, and they will just pick that. But the truth is, these are the trends. And I'll maybe talk about it later, about how we really have to live with it. It's the reality. But then the truth is, me who went to school will always have that. There'll be that extra thing that I'm doing that you don't really know about if you never went to school and want to practice journalism.
What you're saying is almost believable. Almost believable. Apart from when you think about the fact of the question I asked, why is it then that people who did not do journalism are the ones we are calling top journalists in the country. And these are not my words. These are from a verified media practitioner, Mr. Joshua Beyanga, who was one of the facilitators of you guys yesterday. He came on the show today, and that is what he said. So I almost would believe you.
Now,
Can I
reply you on that question?
Yes.
It still goes back to what I was saying. Mm-hmm. Why are these people not, you're talking about journalism. What I'm trying to answer is that they might not have done journalism, and right now they are the verified ones, are the people whom we are looking at.
Yeah.
But how did they do it? They started with passion. They went for these skills. Mm-hmm. Remember, you in your institutions who are trying to fight for only that profession,
the parents sent you there.
You've just gone there for theories, you're studying, but you have no skills based, or you have no spaces where you can learn these skills from. But then, because they had passion, they looked for different institutions, because they're also technical institutions that bring in and say, for us, we are more of practicals. So, for example, if MCI says we are giving more practicals 90, and then 10 might be little theories, then me, because I'm so passionate and I want to learn this thing very fast, I'll run here. So when I come out, and a media house, of course, when I reach there, they will ask me, yes, you're saying you can, what can you do? Before even they ask you your documents, they ask, what can you do? Yes, I can present. Are you sure? Can you put there and do something? They will put you for sound test and everything.
Is saying,
before you know, you will be given a job.
Is right.
That's why
media houses nowadays, when you go to ask for a job, very interestingly, no one asks for your CV. I've been to newsrooms. I've been in 2 newsrooms where I've worked. No one ever asked me for my transcript.
That comes after.
Take that in.
Thank you for making my point. So that exactly means that I don't have to go to school to be a journalist.
No, I have my own point.
But let me first get Theo's opinion. Theos, in your opinion, what are we journalists? We who are radio presenters, we who are TV presenters, are we journalists?
When you say that, okay, when someone asks me, like, what shows that you're a journalist, I'll ask you, what do you see?
What do you
see me doing?
Yes.
And what does it make me? Does it make me a journalist? Then we base on that. But if you say, did you go to school of journalism for me to call you a journalist? I will tell you no. Because I didn't go what? I didn't go to that.
Dan, you're on fire, but let me first let this.
All right. So what someone was saying, you wake up in the morning. You wake up in the morning. You have passion for journalism, but you're not able to go to the school of journalism. And then you are lucky and you get a media house that is gonna help you to practice your passion. At the end of the day, still day by day, you keep on perfecting your passion, and it makes you a journalist.
So I want you to give me an answer.
We are journalists.
We are journalists.
Hey! 2 things, Canaan. Two things. Allow me to put across 2 things. We in this discussion really want to come out of it with an answer to our questions.
Yes.
2 things. Theos, how much following do you have on Twitter? How much following?
I have 10.8K.
10.8K. A certain Dan who went to School of Journalism has like a 3K.
Yeah.
So the moment now Theo gets a media house.
Yes.
He never went to media school, right? But the moment he gets a media house and I get another one, trust me, Theos will make a bigger journalist than me who went to school. Goes back to the Trendz. You get my point?
In a few minutes, I'm going to bring back Lennon here too. So we're balancing this boat here. We're trying to balance this boat. So we're trying to balance this fire because Lennon is one of the biggest DJs in Uganda. And if you didn't know this is a fact. In terms of the Journalism Association, blah, 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 it's the Association of Journalists, DJs, and something like, I don't remember what it is, but we are all...
DJs are journalists?
Yes, that's what we want to look at. That's why we're going to get Lennon here. We're also going to hot seat him. and we're going to find out. But let's first go for a very short break. After that, we will be looking into the Association of Journalism and the Association of DJs and Presenters in Uganda. But also, we'll be looking at some of the regulations that you've been talking about. Dan and Eman have been suggesting that they need to tighten up the regulations on journalism. And I'll be having also some opinions and thoughts of some of us who might be locked out of these so-called regulations and seeing what they think about that. Let's go for a very short break. I'm going to leave you with a song called The Bloody Samaritan by Ira Star. Do not touch that dial.
Testimony, my testimony. I don't chop, I don't testimony. I don't testimony. I'm a testimony, testimony, my testimony. I don't chop, I don't testimony. I don't testimony. I'm a testimony, testimony, my testimony. I don't chop, I don't testimony. I don't testimony. I'm a testimony, testimony, my testimony.
The hits just keep on coming.
Steph London Bunny remix. Years of fresh hits, fresh talent, and connecting all universities. Download the MCI radio app on Google Play Store, the home of the African Voice, a free internet radio on radio.mciug.org.
Yeah, first you like me so much when I'm working.
London. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm ticking dynamite. I blow your candle lights. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill. Them no fit kill. Them no fit kill my. Wise man said, follow the stars. There you shall find a piece of advice. If you hit your enemies, enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. Cause you can never kill my vibe. Got here with no sacrifices. Everything was taken, still had to make it. Vibe killer, me I no go take shit. Vibe killer, that is somebody that protect my energy from your bad aura. Then my pastor say I be my healer, everything I desire. I go receive my rhythm, flow like a river. If you get yawa, come on, go and sit down. I go just para, come out my jigger. I go just follow my lead. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm ticking dynamite. I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill my vibe. You no fit kill. You no fit kill. You no fit kill my vibe. I see you watching my stories. I see you gauging my lifestyle. I see you watching my movements. This bad bitch bad every day. I know they look at your face. Bad man bad every day. Get on your knees and pray till you regain your faith. That is somebody that protect my energy from your bad aura. That my pastor say I be my healer, everything I desire. I go receive my rhythm, flow like a river. If you get yawa, come on, go and sit down. I go just para, come out my jigger. I go just follow my dream. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm ticking dynamite. I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, no fit kill my vibe. You no fit kill my vibe. You no fit kill. You no fit kill. You no fit kill my vibe.
The Inter-University Media Challenge 2021 is here. This is an annual event which brings together students of journalism and media to compete and showcase talent in news gathering, production and presentation, at the same time learning from the expert trainers and journalists from the media industry. Be the next celebrated journalist in the country, like many that have gone through our practical and experiential trainings.
Kayonga Paul, NBS.
Mordecai Mulisa, MBS.
Olivia Komgisha, NTV, Sandra Twinobdio, NTV.
For more information, check out our website on www.mciug.org or call 0702 195 095 or visit our offices located at Tiropati Level 4.
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trendz with Canaan Arinda.
To brand new, you show me love that I never knew. Oh, my morning dew, I can't stop thinking of you. Yeah, you set me on fire. You take my love, you go higher. You alone me desire.
You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trendz with Canaan Arinda.
Yeah, yeah, my baby, my shawty, my baby, my shawty, my baby, you're my shawty, my baby, my shawty. Oh, yeah, my baby, me down. Oh, yeah, my honey, me down. Oh, yeah, my me down.
Good morning, everybody. We are 2 minutes away from me saying good afternoon, but you're still listening to Talk the Trendz here on MCI Radio. It's me, Canaan Arinda, real DJ Lennon Antius, as usual. And in the building, we also have some guests, some professional journalists, professional in quotes, because that's what we are discussing right now. Professional in quotes.
I walk out of this room.
We're trying to discuss some of these major issues. Who is a journalist? What makes a journalist? Are TV presenters and radio presenters like the three of us journalists or not? What makes it professional? And we are also going to be looking into the Association of DJs, which is also under the umbrella of journalism. And so we'll be looking at it from all those perspectives. I want to start with you, Lennon.
Yes, sir.
On the conversation and discussion that we've been having right now on who is a professional journalist, are we as radio and TV presenters professionals or not? What is your say? What is your perspective?
Yeah, well, according to me, first off, let me start like this. For someone can go to a driving school and learn how to drive, but also get a driver's license, right?
Uh-huh.
So does that make them like professional drivers or something?
Professional drivers.
Yes. It does.
Yes.
All right. So in my understanding, someone can be professional without going to the formal
educational structures.
The
formal driving school is the formal place to learn driving is a driving school. There's no university for driving. So that's the school.
No, but for instance, guys who drive taxis, they don't learn.
They do.
No, they go. The guy learns alone, like with his buddy, and then the next thing is to go and pass the bar. Like you go to the police and say, I need the driving thingy, and then they tell you, come and do this test.
So who's going to driving schools? Are they cats, dogs, or cows?
No, that's the thing. You go to driving school because maybe you don't have someone who can teach you. But if I learn how to drive,
maybe the money to take you to a driving
exactly.
school.
But if I learn how to drive on my own, all I need to do is get a permit. So I go to the guys and say I can drive, and they say okay, let's give you a permit.
And
let's do
within
the
2
test.
months, that's an accident.
So no. Is there anyone who drives better than a taxi driver in Uganda? A guy who can drive on a
called an accident. It's called an accident.
It wasn't planned. Yeah.
Canaan, we know this guy from NBS who has been in jail. That's an accident.
Yes, case.
That's an accident in that regard.
No, but even Samson Kasumba was jailed. What are you talking about?
Another accident. Did he go to to journalism school. Not that I'm attacking them. I'm just trying to say, just the kind that really rubbed the journalism ethical side of it the wrong way, and they were jailed. Same with your guy who go.
So Solomon said Wanja had to run away from the country when they were looking for him to be jailed.
Solomon
Do you remember
right now
that?
has his
Plus
papers.
some 2 BBC guys. Those ones actually went to jail.
Solomon is a celebrated journalist, but then you also know that he really started it without going where.
And right now he has the Komloto Mwak awards and all those things.
Yeah,
Guy never went to school. But yes, Lennon. Sorry,
anyway, let me continue.
Yeah.
But in my understanding, I'm also trying to learn from you guys, and I'm trying to speak my mind out.
Don't be humble. Say it.
Yeah, because these guys have to be celebrated. They put in the time and everything. So, but what I'm saying is, I think personally there is a difference between a journalist and a media personality.
Accurate.
What do you mean?
For me,
a media personality is me who just comes and works on radio. I didn't necessarily have to go to school for it or something. But a journalist, like we heard from these colleagues, you go to school for it and everything. Like Google told us, someone who collects news and everything makes a journalist, right? And a media personality, Google says, someone with prominent or celebrity profile and commands some degree of public fascination and influence in a day-to-day media.
The public influence part.
Yeah, so I would like to think, as a DJ, I'm a media personality, not a journalist or something like that.
As a media personality, you're saying you're not a journalist.
But a media personality.
But you're a media personality. Man, this guy, bring on a substitute, dangerous substitute, and the guy scores an own goal. We are trying to get authenticated, and you're saying,
are a moderator. You have a side.
Okay, no, I don't have a side. Okay, so let's look
but I'm still trying to understand. But in my opinion, like that's what I think. We have a difference between a journalist and a media personality.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes. Aha. Okay, I'm a one-man army. Journalist, huh?
Yeah. Now,
the Media Challenge Fellowship.
The thing is, the word is profession.
Yeah.
And you should be asking, who grants you to become a profession? Or where do you get that title to say, now I'm a profession?
Okay.
We've seen somebody who's just riding a bicycle, and because he has taken a lot of, there is experience and profession. Because he has taken a good experience, he will come and say, I'm a profession in riding bicycles.
Definitely.
You get, because you feel like you have to add yourself those titles.
Yeah.
But I think profession, it should be coming from the idea that you've gone to school, you've finished the university, and then once you have been graduated, we have chancellors, vice chancellors, who says, I've awarded you and this is it today and forever you've become.
Yeah, but why though? So, why does it have to be for I understand certain courses, as I've said, I understand certain courses, because even time immemorial, when we look into history, for example, there was schools where people would go to learn to be doctors. Like I'm talking about olden days, like BC, before Christ. They used to have all those classes where being a midwife, people would give that example. My grandmother used to do that. They used to go and have to learn and watch and do everything and be certified. In the village, not every woman would be responsible for helping you give birth. Even here in East Africa is one of the earliest civilizations for what they call a C-section, where you operate on the woman, open the belly up and remove the child. East Africa is one of the earliest human beings on earth who learned how to do that. But not every woman would help you give birth. On the village, there was that one specific woman, or like 3 of them in the village who they knew, because they used to go somewhere learn it. So there are certain professions which I understand. But let's look at journalism. And my question is, what is that unique, special one thing that journalists have that I have to go to school or else I will not learn it?
I answered that sometime back.
I don't think you tackled it deeply enough. I don't know how, you just played on top of the cake. But that I want you to give me that specific thing. What is that thing?
What I will tell you is something that you really miss when you don't go to the university to be a professional is that there are different things. When you look at the course students have been learning, certain things will not be trained to you here.
Like which one?
When
Give
you
me
talk
an
about the
example.
media ethics, when you talk about the media law, that's why you get bloggers being attained because they don't understand how things work. Because you may be having skills, but what are you communicating?
So basically, it's the information that this person lacks, right?
Let me say something. That the information you have is what pushes you to put your art very rightly in a legalized way and making sure that you have people who are, or the boundaries able to, support you and say you're in the right track, rather than having the skill, but the way through which you have to showcase it is having issues because you're lacking knowledge. That knowledge that's going to guide you to bring out your art. I don't know that you're understanding me.
Okay, so you've given some examples of media ethics, media law. Dan, what are some of the ethics?
Ethics?
My friend. Give me some media ethics.
The ethical part of it is that...
No, give me the media ethics.
There are many.
Yeah, give me some.
Very many.
Give me some.
But I'm trying to tell you that this.
Give me some.
Listen to me.
You went to school. You're professional.
Listen to me.
Lennon and I, we didn't. So show us the difference. Don't help. Because I'm trying to. So all those years that you went to school, here we are. I think that we are on the same level because you can't mention the ethics.
No, I can, but then why should I mention them to you? You should go to school and learn them as well.
No. You share the information.
My friend, the point is.
What are some of the ethics?
The point is, you're not going to pay me school fees for it. So go to school, learn ethics for your own.
Mention some of the journalistic ethics that you said you went to school. Okay, let's move away from ethics. Huh? What are some media law? Is another thing that Amon you've mentioned. Huh? So media law. Give me those three media laws that you studied in school.
Let me ask you a question.
Make you professional. No, come on, guys. Can you see what I'm trying to say?
I think it's like
not
you
really,
want them to set like those laws.
Lennon, don't betray us. We are trying.
I'm not betraying you. I'm also looking forward to hear that. Maybe I'll be like, that's something I didn't need to go to school. So we're really waiting for that.
Exactly. Yeah. So help us, professional journalists. Help us understand.
Let me ask you. Does Lennon know that really? If I'm asking, I'm not just putting you on. I'm not putting you on the spot.
It's okay because I have put you on spot. So you put us on spot.
Yeah, I'm ready for you.
Does Lennon know that anything that is said by anyone, I mean by members of parliament, for example, in parliament, they can say anything and no one can really, by law, you can't really do anything about it.
So is Lennon?
I'm like, if you are sent to parliament, or if you are sent to parliament,
yes,
to DJ there.
Give us something that is related to media, because we are not in parliament.
Covering parliament.
Yes.
I'm giving you an example.
Yes. No, give us an example that is, because we're talking about media today. We're talking about journalism. So you mentioned the fact that you need to go to school to be able to learn some of these things. Otherwise, and my point was, when I was speaking, one of the points was that I'm one of those people who went to school, studied journalism for 3 years, and I can assure you that had I not been here at the Media Challenge, those would have been wasted years, I think. And I'm trying to show you an example, is that we come out, we get the certificate, but if I get some of my classmates right now,
what if you
don't know anything.
Or if you're just one isolated example of who wasted the 3 years.
Again, tell us. Tell us. Just mention at least like 4 journalistic ethics that you studied in school that we cannot find out anywhere else. Tell us.
Yes. Ethics. Like,
Yes.
you really think I don't
Just
know
mention
ethics?
3 or 4 journalistic ethics.
I'm going to storm out of here. You can't really insult me like that.
Amon, you're the one who mentioned media law. You go to school, you study media law, and those are some of the things which people who do not go to journalism school can't find. So mention for us 3 journalistic laws that you studied that we can't find out elsewhere.
Okay. I won't say you can't find them out anywhere.
No, okay, just mention them. Just mention.
Okay. One of it, of the media laws, okay, you should be knowing that if you are to have a media house, you should be knowing who is your regulator. So if you find who is the regulator.
What do you mean by a regulator?
Okay, it could be UCC, people who are taking over your media house, who are trying to, look at everything that you put out.
Yeah.
So if you have in mind that anything I'm speaking, I have people who are listening, and at any cost, if I speak rubbish or something foolish, I may cause harm to the media house that I'm working for.
Mm-hmm.
You get, so if those are the things that
defamation, for example.
Defamation. Finally, that counts.
No, I'm not saying.
Let me intervene real small right now. I think that's something I have an idea on.
Aha.
Like I just know that in me, like there are things I'm not supposed to say on air because I know they can cause harm, just maybe to my career or the radio or the media house.
Did you have to go to school to study that? Exactly. So
let me ask you a question to Lennon. I'm giving an example of Samson Kasumba. Samson, why was he arrested, for example, if you remember?
I actually don't remember why he was arrested.
You don't remember why he was arrested?
Yeah.
Do you know that he was not aware of what had happened to him?
So what happened? Tell us.
No, I'm talking to you. I'm telling you that the kind of those
So tell us what happened. You were saying like you know it. So tell us.
I'm not going to say that.
Why?
I'm not going to say that 100% know why, because let me give you. Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Listen, moderator.
I'm listening.
You don't can be a moderator and then you want to take sides.
Okay.
If I can tell you a little bit that I heard about Simon's issue.
Samson,
sorry. He was on air and he spoke certain words, and these words, I think, they were in one or the other inciting or something.
To him, they were okay.
somehow breaking laws through which the UCC makes sure that you should not be, tackling that button. And then because he said. So remember when the show ends as a media house, because they were having now professional guys who at least went to school, who give some training to those who didn't get that profession directly because they're only having skills. So they were able to realize that in every show that we do, if you are the host, we shall put a disclaimer. Yeah. So if anything backfires, you get my point. So if you did go to school, of course, not everything will be told to you once you can, because you have the skill. There are certain things that you will think they may assume that you should be knowing. So if you speak trash, they will come for you.
Canaan wants us to mention act this and this and this. We are not lawyers.
No, but you went to school and you studied.
We know the law, but we need to quote it.
You got a transcript that they said, according to the university of this and this and that, we know that this guy has studied and he knows this.
No, the point is, let me even look direct in your camera.
Yes.
I'm not a lawyer, I'm a journalist. What I know is that I know the law, but I don't need to quote it, act this and this.
So can you agree that we can also find out the law without having to go to school to study it?
No.
Then what? No, you can't.
No.
We can't?
You can't.
We can't find out about, we don't have a clue that if I say bad things about the government, I might be arrested?
No, you know why?
You're the only ones who know because you went to school and studied it?
Yes, you can. Let me tell you another example. You very well know, for example, sometimes that if you really come into my house and record things without my permission. I can really, that's something that's invasion of privacy.
So you think that no one else knows that?
No, I'm not saying that, but then it might skip your mind if you really don't go to school for it. You will say, that this is normal. I mean, you will go to Shiba's house here and then you start recording, Shiba arrests you. You go on NBS and start, as soon as he's poor, he will soon arrest you.
Yeah.
Can I add on that?
Basically,
sure
the instinct.
Sure thing.
Okay.
The journalism school puts the instinct in me to remember what I'm going to do here might put me in trouble. But for you to go for
T.S. is disagreeing. I'm going to bring T.S. back in a few minutes. But before that,
I have a question.
Yes,
The reason why I'm saying it will be hard for you to find those laws, or even to know that there are ethics there.
Yeah.
I'll ask you one question. If I'm the owner of this station, okay, and you have no any idea of what we do inside here.
Yeah.
Okay? How would you then start looking for the things that people who are doing there may do wrong that you think they should be cautioned? You have to be into something to learn the challenges or to know.
Lennon is coming in to defend and don't make sure it's not an own goal, man.
No, it's okay. You can keep
the example you mentioned was like if something that happens here. I thought you studied that something for everywhere. Is this supposed to be for a particular media house?
You're putting us on
what I'm trying to say.
Let me ask Lennon.
Let him first answer this.
Lennon, Booze, I have a question. You're saying that you can go out there and be a journalist as well, right?
No.
For
the other law, I say that's something I know in my head.
So Canaan is putting it on your head that you want to be a journalist. So for you, you're saying I'm not, but Canaan wants to force you to be a journalist.
No. I'm saying that he is a journalist, and he doesn't have to have gone to.
And he's saying he's not.
No, I said I'm trying to find out the definition between a journalist and a
I was replying. Let me give you a simpler example.
Yeah.
In your home, at your home place, if I don't know the rules in your house, because of course there's no way I will get to know the rules in the house of the house when I don't stay there. So it will need me to come into the journalism field to know what are the problems, what are the laws, what are the challenges.
But then you do not have to have been born in that house to learn the rules. So I do not need to have gone to that school, sit in class and fail and get some retakes and then finally get that transcript for me to learn the rules. I can learn them even from outside. And as we've seen already, some of the top so-called journalists are people who didn't even go to school.
By the time you learn the rules, I'm already pissed.
You're
like, look at this guy.
Do you know how much harm you have caused to that media house before you learn the rules?
No. There are people who have been practicing and they did not study and they're doing quite well. They're doing amazingly.
I gave you the reason as to why they're doing good. It's because of the curriculum the institutions are doing. I think that's why your anger is because you didn't get you were not able to get the skills, but you were given the knowledge.
Okay.
So the knowledge is different from the schools. The skills, which I think in the institutions, what we should be advocating for right now is to make sure that there are more practicals to back up the theory that you get, so that you come out when you're professional enough.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to come back very shortly. Let me just take a very... Let's go for a very short break, guys. We're going to be back.
The hits just keep on coming.
Steph London Bunny remix.
Yes, fresh hits, fresh talent, and connecting all universities. Download the MCI Radio app on Google Play Store, the home of the African Voice, a free internet radio on radio.mciug.org.
Yeah, first you like me so much when I'm working.
Give me this money, 'cause these people in the do waiting for me. Baba, give me this money, 'cause these people in the do waiting for me.
Listening to MCI Radio, and this is Dr. Trendz with Canaan Arinda.
The hits just keep on coming.
Steph London Bunny remix.
Yes, oh, fresh hits, fresh talent, and connecting all universities. Download the MCI radio app on Google Play Store, the home of the African Voice, a free internet radio on radio.mciug.org.
Yeah, first you like me so much when I'm working.
Yes, what's that? My woman, my everything. My woman, I go be buy you anything. My woman, my everything. My woman, I go be give you anything. My woman, oh, my everything. My woman, oh, my everything. Woman, you proper, woman, you straight. Man, a brother, your genetic trait. Waiting for you was never too late. Remember, say you want the food in on my plate. Yeah, I love me indicate, and it is so concrete. And we never lose faith for making you my soulmate. Get this one straight, say are you married? No matter how them get, they can take you any date. Give you anything, anything, anything on the bed. First thing, any money, medicine. You want me everything, everything, everything. No, me woman to me, you mean everything. Yeah, no. My woman, my everything. My woman, I go buy you anything. My woman, my everything. My woman, I go give you anything. My woman, oh, my everything. My woman, oh, my everything. Say me girl finer, more than Diana. Other girls China, Oluwa designer, me love a liner. No man can find her, she love me, for me, no one reminder. Say hello.
You're still listening to Talk the Trends. It's me, Canaan, Arinda, real DJ Lennon and Theus. And today we have our guests, Dana, everybody. Yes, and Amoni. They are professional journalists and they are here trying to convince us that for us who are TV presenters and radio presenters, and transcript of journalism, we are not journalists. I am here trying to see if this is in fact the case or not.
We are not convincing anyone. We are just speaking facts.
You're being fact, but I'm also speaking facts. I'm also speaking facts, and you guys are not here answering those facts. Huh? So you guys are maintaining the fact that there is a difference between media practitioners and journalists. Real DJ Lennon was my substitute, supposed to come and score a goal. The guy scored my own goal and proved that we might be, in fact, media practitioners and not professional journalists. And there's a difference, but there is nothing wrong with that. Huh? Okay, so one of the things that you guys were raising, one of the points that you were raising is apparently there is a need then to start regulation, to put in place certain regulations that say that for one to be a professional journalist, this is what is going to be the case. So my question is, what are some of those regulations that you guys are suggesting?
Do you know that of recent, some time back, there was a qualification that you had to have for you to be a journalist or to go in different sources to get the news from there.
Are you meaning an ID? Because we have those even right now.
No. They were saying if you have no bachelor's degree in mass communication or journalism, you're limited to certain places for you to reach to get the news. For example, even now I think you can't go to the parliament when you have that qualification.
Really?
Yeah. Tell me who goes there and he has no bachelor's.
I don't know. I'm obviously
one
not
of the
talking,
things,
but I don't think so. I think that if you can prove that you work for a media house that is real. So if I'm working for NTV as one of the journalists and I don't have a bachelor's degree in journalism,
they won't allow you.
They can't allow me into the parliament. How will they know? Do I move with my transcript?
You think everyone goes there?
Let me ask. Do I have to go with my transcript to the parliament?
If that is the case, there's a process.
Which process?
If that's the case, that's not my point. But I'm like, you don't really have to say.
No, Amon is saying that you cannot go to the parliament as a journalist and get news unless you have a bachelor's degree, right?
Yeah.
And my question is, at the parliament gates, do they ask for your transcript?
Okay, let me answer you.
If I have an ID from NBS or NTV or MCI radio, can I enter?
Let me answer you.
Yeah.
Parliament, for any reporter to go and report in Parliament,
it's
like an application. If you didn't know that, you have to apply, and they will tell you in the qualifications we need, somebody must have at least a bachelor's degree. You know why?
Why?
Because they don't want these guys who are just bloggers, who just piss off people, who just speak things that they don't understand. Because, like, they need that professionalism in you to come and or ask when you're making interviews. There are things like.
Allow me to first cut you short.
Okay.
I don't think. Okay, I'm trying to correct you on this. I don't think that all bloggers say things that they don't know.
I'm not talking about bloggers, of course.
No, in what you were saying, in what you have said, I was
speaking
listening
on behalf of journalists. Tell me a blogger who has gone to Parliament and reported news there. Tell me any blogger you know, and he has gone to Parliament and is speaking and he has sourced the news there.
No, I am not talking of the blogger that has gone to the Parliament or something. But what you were saying is that not allowing bloggers who report things that they don't know.
Okay. That are going to go there and cause headache.
I'm trying to say that it's not that they are not allowed to go there, or there is no any blogger that is not allowed to go there, but it's not that bloggers report things that they don't know.
No, you've misquoted me. Let me correct you.
Okay. You can correct me.
If you are a blogger, you are not allowed, totally allowed. If you are at all, you're not qualified and you have no qualifications that makes you to go there and source news. They may tap into somebody's profession. For example, if I'm a profession and I've gone there, they may pick information that I've posted or that my media house has got sourced from that place, and then they will speak about it. I'm not saying that bloggers speak things that they don't know. Some of them speak things that, of course, they don't know. But some people will pick information from the verified journalists who have sourced the information.
All right. Now let's do it like this. I am on MCI Radio today. I'm working with MCI Radio. And now MCI Radio is sending me to the Parliament to get news from there. I have a card that shows that I work for MCI Radio. But I'm going to the Parliament and I'm presenting what MCI Radio has given me to the Parliament. Will they ask me that, did you go to a journalism school to first enter here? Or they will ask me, which media house are you working for?
Okay, let me answer him.
The fact is,
let me first answer him.
The fact is, you can't report in Parliament randomly.
It's not that.
You want to say it randomly? We're saying we have the identification.
Let me tell you,
we have the
even if you have an
identification,
it's not
go there and flash your NBS TV card and you're like, they will say, can you enter the plenary session? No, that's not how it works.
They will just give you 1 minute to get out of that place, or else they'll put you inside.
Okay, but we're stretching away from what are those regulations you guys are asking for? We're not here to talk about Parliament. Tell us those regulations that you guys want us to have for the journalists. What are some of those things that you're saying that for us as professional journalists, this is what we want, this is what we want to say, that if you don't have this, you're not going to be considered?
For me, it's two-way for me.
Tell us what some of those are.
Do I go first?
Yeah, sure.
For me, it's two-way. As a media innovator, I wouldn't really want much limitations. Like I said earlier, I'm into an innovation that really brings citizen journalists on board, and ideally these are the guys who might even be illiterate, because I believe.
First, break it down for us. Who are citizen journalists?
Okay, citizen journalists are anyone who can go out there, collect news, not in a much professional manner, and that's why I come in. My innovation is called Resident Media Effort. And we look to work with citizen journalists to tell their own stories. These are normal, usual people, day-to-day people, a layman like you and me, who can use their phone to go and take a picture of something that has happened. Let me say, if you are in the middle of town and there is chaos and there is kavuyo in town, NBS is not there, MCI Radio is not there, NTV is not there, and you are the person to break the news fast, because we can't be everywhere. So, for me, in one side, I really want it to be open. But then, as Resident Media Effort, what we say is that, no, we need to engage these people and teach them the basics. Not that they will learn journalism in just 1 week or one training session or a week's training session, week-long training conference. But we think if we give them basics of training, these guys can be able to help us tell stories which are actually accurate, because maybe if you teach someone about fact checking, if you teach someone about what misinformation or disinformation can do, then they can be more critical of what they're going to put on their socials in future. But on the other side, if we are talking about the mainstream, the conventional journalism, a reputable media house shouldn't really allow anyone in unless they really entered media school. I don't really want to stick on a degree, but as long as you have a document that really explains that I went to school and studied this. To include everyone, still, for us to be inclusive, we could say Canaan did go to school, but let's have this law. If NTV feels Canaan has 200,000 followers on Twitter, we want to tap into.
Amen.
Let me say, they say Canaan has 200 guys we want to tap into, so we want to have him on board. Don't bring Canaan and throw him on air right away. There should be a mandatory a program for every radio, TV station, or newspaper, be it 6 months or 1 year. Train Canaan what journalism is all about. Train Canaan that not everything is news. Train Canaan that saying OS is poor is news. Train him not to think that OS being poor is news. It doesn't help anyone if OS is poor. So what does it really help the public?
Yeah.
So if you train him, that's one of the rules I really want out there. But in the general picture, if you want people to tell their stories, these underreported stories in villages, if you want to know whoever has done anything, if you want to know a 15-year-old that has been defiled, if you want to know who has stolen who, you have to empower the citizens.
The citizens to be able to record. Okay, so I'm just going to ask each one of us here to just give that answer to us. So I'm going to ask you, are radio presenters and TV presenters journalists? Yes or no?
They are not. N-O-T, capital.
They are not.
N-O-T in capital. Uppercase.
Amen. Are radio presenters and TV presenters journalists or not?
Now, to answer that question.
Don't try to first answer yes or no.
Then you support your answer.
Okay. The answer is yes, but at the same time no. Can I explain why?
Okay. Sure thing. Okay.
Why I'm saying no, it's because there are some presenters who are not professional. And so, to me, somebody who's not professional
is not a journalist.
I don't refer you like a real journalist.
Okay, we'll get into the question of what is professional.
But put you like maybe bloggers or somewhere there. But somebody who's professional, yes, you might be not having skills, or when you have skills, you're a presenter. But for as long as you're professional, I really salute you. And
Katukawanike, let me ask you. So, which example can I give? Are the presenters on NBS Kalakata journalists or not? Is Zahara Toto a journalist or not?
They are uncensored and apologetic.
If journalism is here, Zahara Toto is the other extreme.
You need my response too.
Well, okay, yes, I need your response too. Okay, so is Zahara Toto a journalist or not?
Totally not at all. Why? A lot of ethics.
Before you go,
because like I said, in media you have a lot of things that will govern us.
Wait, Canaan, before you go away, I'm not in the NBS newsroom. Does Zahara Toto sit in the newsroom and tell the editor that I'm going to talk about this one today?
We don't know. But obviously she has a producer who approves of the information. She doesn't just wake up in the morning and come and start.
I understand, but then the question is, goes back to the journalism part of it.
Yeah.
Zahara Toto, if journalism is a watchdog kind of profession.
Pardon?
If journalism is kind of a watchdog profession.
Yeah.
What does her content help the community in far as is it watchdogging?
She brings
Let me ask. Journalists put out information to the community for people to get informed, right? Of the things that are going on in the society.
Yes.
What is Zahara Toto doing?
Zahara Toto.
Because I think You're putting out information, regardless of the kind of content you're putting out, but as long as it is information. It is news, right?
Come on.
Can I answer?
Goes back to the training we talked about. The 5 W's and H. Goes back to that. You could answer the what. You could answer the when.
Yes.
And then there's the hows and all that.
But she does. She answers the 5 W's and H.
Listen up.
She tells us what has happened, where it has happened, when it happened, who did it, why it happened, and how it happened.
Why?
So has she not satisfied the journalistic rules and regulations?
Pick
Is
out
Zahara
one,
Toto not a
news
journalist?
aspect of Zahara and then tell me about the why.
Okay, there's a time when she was talking about
Those are not.
And even the so what.
Those are not regulations.
Those are not regulations.
We want to see if the regulations are necessary or not. That's what we are discussing. So why are they
Everything must
necessary?
have a regulation.
Everything?
Most especially in our day-to-day life.
Okay.
If you take alcohol and you have no regulation and say, okay, I'm taking much, you'll die. If you drive randomly speed and you say, okay, because I have no one to talk about me or regulation to break, you'll die.
But
so in real life, if you have nothing, like it has to, bring you.
Okay,
say,
now,
you've gone off board. Come
what
back.
I want to know,
You
what
won't make
what kind of regulation are we talking about on here? Because Zahara Toto, as far as I'm speaking, she's having a show, and the show she's having it on one of the biggest televisions in East Africa.
Doesn't matter how big. Televisions the media houses can also go astray with it. Doesn't matter how big.
So you're saying that NBS is making a mistake?
It's not regulated.
Are you saying that NBS is making a mistake of no?
I never said that. I'm saying, goes back to what the East Festival is talking about. The trends that are coming in. Nowadays, if I could say one of the trends, what is coming up these days is that the audience has controlled media so much. It's no longer about doing what is right, but doing what people want. The audience wants. So it's not only NBS doing it. Not just putting that big media house on spot. One day I might go there for a job and then I'll be like, it's on MCI radio. But it happens everywhere. It's entirely everywhere. NTV, those who have such kind of shows with the Spark side of their nation media, the Spark side.
Side hustle.
The side hustle.
So it's where it has taken us. Even you notice even in news, it is, like I told you, I've been in a newsroom. With this real quick, you will bring a story. When you bring a story, you have a headline, and then it will tell you, let's twist this headline. When you ask him for what purpose, and it's like, to catch the reader's eye. So basically, to twist it, most times, you read your own story and you're like, no, this was not my story. The editor had an agenda that I didn't have.
Yeah.
You get? So that's where the media is going. I tell a story, the editor twists it to what he feels can be catchy to the what? To the reader. Or to the viewer.
I also want to get Theus's view. Theus, I want you to tell us on record, according to you and the way you see things, is Zahara Toto a journalist or not?
According to me, Zahara Toto is a journalist.
According to you, Zahara Toto is a journalist. Because
she's doing what journalists.
People joke with journalism.
I'm not looking at the kind of content.
Look at how Aman is looking at you.
I'm saying Aman is looking at you.
Aman, you don't agree.
Yeah, I know you won't agree. Even though I try to explain to him like a million times, I know you won't agree. But for me, according to like someone who has not learned anything about journalism, who knows only that journalists are the people who collect news and deliver it to the people. When you ask that person, he or she will tell you that Zahara Toto is a journalist. Because Zahara Toto is giving what that person needs.
Can I ask you a question?
What? Yes?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you a journalist?
Me, I'm a media practitioner.
You're not a journalist, right?
But you're over here giving information.
I understand why you're coming from that source. Journalism is beyond what you think is going outside, get the news and bring to the people. It's much far beyond because there's a lot of things that are done back in the editorial room that
you guys have been using the word professional. Let's break it down. What is professional?
What's profession?
Yes. What is professional?
It all starts.
What is professional? What is a profession?
What is professional? What do you mean by professional?
A professional person.
It all starts for somebody who goes to a school, studies, graduates, and his profession in that.
So there's nothing like a professional Rolex guy?
Those are things that you just give yourself titles. I'm a professional, brings customer language, you get. But honorary professions are given in universities or in institutions.
And according to you, journalism is a profession?
If you go to the university and have the skills and you come out, you're graduated.
Okay.
Your profession.
So what?
That's why.
So what of this term that Dan is saying, citizen journalist? So are they journalists or not?
That should be my question.
That's what I wanted to ask you, by the way.
I'm going back to the festival we're talking about, Canaan. We need to go by the tide because we can't change it. If the river is flowing this way, you can't say, I will try and turn it. You have to go with what? The tide. So the point is, we are reaching at a time where we want to innovate. And innovating, Canaan, I know you know it, that innovating involves fully going unconventional. You can't innovate when you're going by the rules.
Like with regulations and going to... Those are rules.
No, get my point.
Those are rules, are they not?
Get my point. When I say rules, I didn't say you really have to live out the basics of it, and then there are these that will stick there.
Yeah, there are basics that never change.
Will regulate you. Yeah. But I'm just talking about the conventional part of it, where you, the audience, are you're on the receiving end. That's the usual system of giving out news. Coming to you, pick news, compile it, bring it back to you. Me, when I say a citizen journalist, I'm trying to say the citizen can actually tell their own story. Not that I'm saying it is something that is really... I mean, innovation is not what you say every day. Innovation is not something you've seen before. It is something you think out of your head and you're like, this could really do magic. So that's what with citizen journalism and resident media effort.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost...
What I wanted to ask him is, at the end of the day, are you going to call those people journalists or not?
Citizen creators.
Yeah? Now you're changing the way... I have you.
Suddenly changed from citizen journalist.
They're no longer citizen journalists, they're citizen creators.
Oh, maybe let's call them content creators.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
That word, citizen journalism.
Yes.
It is so called citizen journalism simply because journalism, the way how people understand journalism is the way how you can source your information or content and then use the tools or any source, anything means that you can to portray or to give out your information to the society. So when they say citizen journalism, it is something like a term or a title that brings all inside guys like the bloggers, influencers, what, to bring them inside and call them citizens because they are reporting and they are not profession. I don't know whether you're trying to pick my point. They are just doing they are trying to copy things that journalists do in using different tools and different aspects, but they are not journalists. Why that you can just bring them in the same bracket?
Dana Yebade is currently fighting to make sure that happens. He's fighting to make sure that they happen. That they come on board because he has a grant that he is fighting for to start educating them. But anyway, unfortunately, every good thing has to come to an end. Every good thing has to come to an end, my man.
I need to correct Dan. I can't say what Dan is doing is wrong. But what I can say is, even when you're trying to mentor or trying to train these citizens to make sure that they can report, they should be having somebody who is going to guide them before. Because I don't expect them to be in mainstream media when they are not profession. Why? Because they will be still lacking more information that you went to school and got and you don't have.
They will also be edited like any other person. If you bring in content that doesn't really fit my media house's standards, then I'm not going to publish you.
But you're saying, so they are going to be, there's a newsroom.
Exactly.
They'll be in a newsroom.
Journalism.
They have not gone to school, but they're going to be in a newsroom. They're going to be bringing stories.
Yes.
They're going to be knowing all the journalistic facts and ethics. You're going to teach them and train them.
Yes.
So basically, what you're saying is they're going to be professional journalists.
That's what I'm saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are going to be journalists.
Only if,
okay, without them having to go and get a
if he has the capacity to bring the lecturers who taught you this professionalism to insert that knowledge in them.
This is when the captain and the coach begin fighting. The captain and the coach are fighting.
Is he a panelist or a moderator?
I'm a moderator.
I'm trying to figure out what Dan is going to do. Is what the lecturers did to him.
What Dan is going to do
is what the lecturers did to him.
And he's going to satisfy
what the lecturers did to Dan is what the lecturers did to the lecturers. I'm
not going to spend.
I hope you're understanding.
I'm not going to explain.
He can be a lecturer.
I'm not going to spend 4 years
wasting their time, right?
Not
my point.
My point.
No. I'm like, there'll be no time for that. Not that it's wasting time.
Yeah.
But the point, my point is, the citizen journalists are within the news collecting system, and for all the time we shall be alive till eternity. You will never screen them out. So what's the solution? Talk to them, teach them,
accept the fact as
that
it is,
they are part of it.
They are.
And they won't leave it. And you will need them.
Let me just, we really have to come to a close. We really have to go.
Talking about the lecturers,
we have to come to a close.
Of course, the issue concerning lecturers, it's sort of just a joke, because lecturers are meant to be in a university or in an institution that is, verified by National Council for Education, that grants the people to have that profession. But so I don't think Dan can have his own university to be, verified by the niche to make sure that his students that he's going to train
journalists
come out and are so professional in that field.
Journalists. But okay, I'm just. We really have to come to a close, but I'm just going to mention this. I went to a certain university. I'm not going to mention it on air. But one of the courses that we were studying was New Testament in the Bible. I went to study how to be a journalist. And for an entire semester of my life that I will never get back, I spent it learning the New Testament. and that is part of the things that they will consider.
Maybe they wanted you to be a preacher.
When they're giving me a transcript, that is one of the things that they'll say, this guy is a qualified journalist because he learned the New Testament and the Old Testament. And tell me if that is worth 4 years of my life. But ladies and gentlemen, we really have to bring the show to an end. Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't think what you're saying is true. But if it's true, I have a response for you on that.
We will get that response. But unfortunately, we have to come to an end of the show. We are coming to the top of the hour almost. And we've been having our guests here, Ayevade and Amon. Amon, closing remarks very shortly, because I have to bring Lennon up back here, and we will have to close the show together with this and Lennon. But just tell us your closing remarks very briefly.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, don't begin by answering. We are done. So now just give.
But I'm informing the public who are listening, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm informing the public, I need to make sure that we don't leave them hanging by you saying you went in the university, they taught you with the New Testament. You see, these students, when they are going to teach them to students, they have reasons as why they teach them to students. So
have their own reasons.
So
not according to what they're doing.
Let me first communicate. So, these questions are first taken to their niche, their higher institution. They are verified, their questions, they are done a lot of things before they are confirmed that you can lecture them to the students. So, as a university where you went to, it might be a university of maybe
understanding
under a basis of religion. You get under a basis of religion, and for them they are asking, please, we need to train our profession so that as he's going out, he should be mindful of God. He should be knowing who God is. Maybe we never know if he is a journalist. Could be, because I've seen also some journalists or some Christian television or media houses who are looking for presenters. And if you're just good at, you could also be able to know the verses and everything. Probably you could make a good religion what presenter or a reporter.
Yeah.
So they look at all aspects in what is happening in the country. So the closing remarks.
Yes. Now the closing remarks. Those are the closing remarks.
No. I was trying to inform
These are the closing of the closing remarks.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Trust me, please. You go on our social media handles. Mine is at Stam on Twitter. 256. Then make sure you keep engaging with us, because we are still at the Media Hub at the East Festival 2021. So we shall always be here to communicate and to make sure that our profession is streamlined and has all the rights reserved.
All right, Amon, thank you. Let's get our closing remarks from Dan.
Thank you, Mr. Presenter. I'm a journalist. So, Mr. Presenter, thank you for inviting a journalist. And I know when you're
journalist, good journalist. Say what I'm a radio host. I'm a journalist.
In our radio production, we take this
do you know how he will close? And the presenter of today has been Canaan and Arinda. You can't say the journalist of today. You get the point.
It's okay.
Thank you very much, Canaan, for the opportunity to be here at MCI Youth Radio. It's a big pleasure, and I must state once again that if you want to create content, not that I'm limiting anyone in my head. I mean, not that I want anyone to be limited, but try as much as possible to go through that training. It might not be this conventional training of university, but don't just go out there and say, I'm a graphics designer, and then you go to your car app on your phone, and you're like, you create YouTube. You create crap. No, sorry. So,
are you seeing? This is what they taught you in journalism school.
So the point is,
but I don't think crap is something a lousy word that could be registered by UCC. Unless if you don't know the meaning of crap.
So, closing. I think citizen journalism should be embraced because, to me, these people won't be. I don't think they will wake up one day where a citizen is not involved in news making, news creating. Citizens make the news. Citizens give us, the journalists, the hints of where news are. So they should be actively. They should be involved actively. Lastly, guys, have a nice weekend. I'm happy to be here, and I always come back to discuss the boy child and also citizen journalism.
I would love to. We will love to host you here, and we will make sure that we have an activist for the girl child rights. We see if you're against one another or if you're on the same team.
You don't need to be a girl child. I can talk about it independently.
No, that is not balanced. That is not balanced in journalism.
I'm still giving my opinion on citizen journalism.
No.
I still have to tell you that they should be having their own space. They should not be interfering with the professional mainstream media.
They should be just out of parliament. That's what you want.
We have this.
So we start our own profession.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No, they shouldn't be.
Ladies and gentlemen, we really have to come to a close. I know this is fire, but we really have to come to a close today. I think the producer should add some more time
because I feel like I still have to communicate.
We're gonna have information. We're gonna have you back next time.
We should get these guys back, and we should have some also other people that might be having these other views, so that we as the moderators don't have to take sides and fight for our rights. But ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening in to Talk to Trends with me, Canaan, Arinda, Real DJ Lennon, and Theos. We have to say goodbye to our guests today, Amon and Dan. Thank you so much for coming through. I'm going to get back Lennon, and we will be wrapping up the hour officially. But guys, thank you so much. Yeah, what correction?
Yeah, my name is always pronounced as Amon. It's an English name.
Yeah?
So you should ignore that.
Forgive me, I didn't go to journalism school to know that.
Doesn't need to go to journalism.
Amon.
Thank you very much for your honor.
All right. You're listening to MCI Radio, and this is Talk the Trends with Canaan Arinda.
The hits just keep on coming.